Aries rising is just giving like, don't with me. It's very dumb. I want to say Lara Croft. It's very fast, very boisterous, very you better keep up, because if not, then this ain't gonna work. One of the things I'd probably give to an Aries rising is just kind of like this fast moving, let's go. They don't like hanging around, they don't like slowing, like let's feel it out. No. We're here, let's go, let's do this, let's do that. And so you better keep up. You know, it's quite combative, it's very confident. I find Aries risings aren't that obvious with their dress sense from what I've seen, as opposed to like a Leo rising is kind of obvious. And I'll get to that. But I feel like what's obvious about Aries energy in general is this kind of like, this energy about them. Like they're ready to jump off a cliff now, like right now. Aries rising is giving someone's older sister. Is it like Dexter's Laboratory? I've forgotten the name of the sister. You know, that kind of like that sister role where it's like, don't fuck with me. Also out of Recess, I've forgotten the name, the girl with the short hair, short black hair. It's giving Aries. I mean, she's giving Aries sun, but this is what you're coming off as when you first meet someone. And obviously in terms of whether people like it or not, it comes back to compatibility. You know, a fire sign in general is a very like, you either love it or you hate it. It's a very Marmite, and especially Aries, because Aries isn't really trying to make you laugh like a Leo. Like a Leo's here to entertain. Sag and Aries, they're not really here to try and entertain you. So it's either whether you're here for that energy and you love it, or it's a bit intimidating for you, it's a bit much. That depends on that. It's giving smashing glasses at the party. The one that smashed the glasses, or the one that was like, let's get ready to party. You know, that's kind of like the vibe. Taurus rising, very, very different to the Aries. It comes off like, kind of again like don't fuck with me, but not in the Aries way, in a very grounded, earthy, serious, who are you and why are you in my space? The bull is really giving Taurus energy, and if you just looked at a bull and you didn't really interact with it, that is the vibe. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? You know, it's funny because my mom's a Taurus rising and I'm a Libra rising, and whenever we go somewhere, I always feel like I'm overcompensating because she looks so serious. Now she's heavy water. She's not really that Taurusy. I mean, she is because she's Taurus rising, but there's nothing else that's giving that. And I'm always like, she does want to meet you. She does want to talk. Like she's, you know, she's got quite a serious face. And yeah, I do feel like I overcompensate. I'm probably really annoying, like an annoying fly. Like, can you not, you know, you're doing too much. It's probably what I'm coming across as, but that's what I find with the Taurus risings. The vibe is giving, you know, I want to say like, it's just earthy, it's serious. I'm not here to play. What's the situation? I'm also not afraid to say something, but I'm going to go my own time. Don't force me. Visually, I find it's their look is very quite classic, you know, just an earthy look. I'm picturing glasses, traditional, grounded. I'm thinking a book and glasses. And I'm sorry, did you interrupt me? Was there something you need to say? You know, just earthy, you know, fully earthy. Of all the earth signs, the Taurus is just that real stuck in the mud one. You know, that one that doesn't want to be bothering anybody, doesn't want anybody bothering them. They're doing their thing, they're living their life, they're eating their food, they're reading their book, and everything's chill. You know, that's the vibe it's giving. But again, don't fuck with them because they're not afraid to say, excuse me, that is not the correct money on the receipt. You've added £5 onto the bill. Readjust. The Gemini risings are giving fun, kind of untrustworthy. Again, depends if you're compatible with it or not. It's just kind of like, I'm getting like, they have this smirk about them, like, do you know what I'm thinking? But not even in a Scorpio way. It's just kind of like in a cheeky way. Like, even if there isn't a secret, they're going to look like there's a secret. Do you know what I mean? Like, go on, ask me. You know, it's very flirty and it's very fun because Gemini energy is, you know, they get a bad rep. And to be honest, they kind of deserve it, but they're also the fun one. They're the popular one. Like, whether people like it or not, people love a Gemini, even though they hate a Gemini. People also love to hate a Gemini as well. It's fun, it's playful, it's cheeky, it's here to have a good time. That's top priority. If you're boring, bye. If there's some drama going on, like, oh, fill me in. Do you know what I mean? Like, it likes the details, it likes the fun information. And so having this in the rising, you're coming off, again, depending if you're compatible with it or not, it kind of comes off a little bit like, I can't quite put my finger on you. And sometimes that's fun and cheeky and flirty if you're compatible with it. If you're not compatible with it, I can imagine it comes across as just untrustworthy. I can't quite figure you out. And that's because Gemini is an air sign. We can't quite put our finger on you because you're up in the air. It's about the logic, you know, it's not very grounded. And then on top of it, it's mutable, which is flexible and adaptable, so it's like a chameleon. So you really can't quite pinpoint Gemini. I do find air risings in general tend to quite like the colours and just the fun playfulness in clothes, but again, depends on a lot more like your Venus and everything else. The ones that tend to be a bit more experimental, not in really a daring way, just like in a cheeky fun way in terms of aesthetics, like how they carry their hair, what accessories they have and things like that, tend to be the air risings. Cancer rising are very soft and very fragile, but don't mess around because they got the claws or whatever you call them. I find in the rising they do really come across as very sensitive. They tend to like the whole, this is me and my kitten, you know. It's very soft, it's very like caring, you know, compassionate, the nice guy, the nice girl. That's kind of like how they come across, but definitely bitey if erupted. In terms of dress and style, again, you always got to look at the Venus, but I find they like nostalgia or memorabilia or something connected to something they really care about. A band, they really like band tops, I feel like are a big one. Something cultural to do with, you know, their culture, something they really care about. But again, the Venus is a strong one, so there's a lot more other things involved, but I do find they're quite soft featured a lot of the time. Now Leo is probably the only rising sign where I would describe confidently the features and the clothing, just because I know so many Leo risings and they all do this. They all love the colour beige. I haven't come across one that doesn't like that. If you are a Leo rising and you don't like beige, let me know and I'll see if I'll be waiting, because they seem to love that, you know, that lion colour, and they love big hair or just like big shoulders or something like lion vibes, you know. They tend to, most of them are quite broad, but I also know the ones that aren't broad, but somehow their aura is giving broad, you know. They're just giving lion, as basic as it sounds. They really do. When they walk into a room, everyone's head's turning. The Leo rising's here. Even if they're a serious one or a funny one or however it kind of comes out, we're all looking at them for whatever reason. Great example I can think of off the top of my head is Drake. Perfect example of a Leo rising. The way he dresses is very Leo rising. His body shape is quite like broad shoulders naturally. Face is quite big, like hair is a big one. Very much I'm here. You know, you can't really imagine Drake probably walking into a room and you wouldn't notice him, because, and not even because he's shouting, just because it's a vibe, you know. It's that vibe. And again, you can be incompatible with this vibe, so you might find it a bit too much, a bit overbearing, a bit in your face, a bit showy offy, however, you know, or a bit arrogant maybe. But if you are compatible with it, you probably think like it's just great, you know. If you're compatible with Leo energy in general, it's kind of like Leo is unmatched. But if you're incompatible with it, and yeah, Leo's, a lot of people don't like Leo, unfortunately. I feel like this is always breaking news to them and they're like, nah, I don't agree. They're probably just jealous. When you're compatible with it, you get it. And if you're not compatible with it, it is a lot. It's just very big and loud energy. So it is kind of like I say, it's about fire signs in general. I do find they're like Marmite a bit, because even if you're incompatible with, say, air signs, it's not in your face like fire signs are. So you either love the fire signs or you hate them, because they're a lot. You can find them really rude and too much and don't think about others or don't care about others, or you love it. They're giving life. They're like, there's nothing without them lot. Do you know what I mean? Virgo risings, okay. I feel like I could think of so many cartoons that are giving Virgo rising. Very analytical, very judgmental. I can see them dressed as like a Harry Potter type thing, like a dark colours, glasses. If they're coming into your house, best believe they saw the mess in the corner of the room. They might even tell you about it depending on their Mercury. It's very critical, it's very on point. Details on point. Cleanliness, all of that is what they present with. I do find it funny with rising signs because it is a massive part of your personality, but sometimes you could have, like, say, a double fire or a double air or something with a Virgo rising, and they seem so Virgo, like so critical, so judgy, so just on it, like detail orientated, like crazy on it. But yeah, that's just the outer part of them. It just seems like such a quite a dominant energy. I would never really call Virgo dominant, just because there are more dominant signs. It's a mutable sign, you know, it's not, so it's flexible, it's adaptable. But I can tell a Virgo from a mile away. It's that little bit of, you know, you said you've got a headache. Have you drank enough water? It's giving Virgo. They've got to solve the problems. They've got to say all the issues that are wrong with everything. And obviously, some people can see that as very negative. Again, if you're compatible with it, you find it helpful. If you're incompatible with it, it's like, mate, don't invite them again because they're killing the vibes. That's kind of, I feel like, what all masculine signs would say about earth signs, to be honest. It's not a very likable energy, but yet no one's going to be better than a Virgo at whatever they're doing. And I don't mean a Virgo sun, I just mean Virgo energy. Wherever you've got that place, you've got some crazy perfectionism, and you will win in that part of yourself over other people because you are so on it, because you are perfecting all the imperfections. You are noticing all the things that have gone wrong. It's the perfect business energy. It really is. I mean, mixed with some air, perfect business combo. If you want something done for you, you want to get a Virgo to do it. They will spend hours on something, but they'll get it right. No one else is getting it right like a Virgo. No one's doing it like a Virgo. So that Virgo energy in your rising is coming off like that. You're coming off like that person. It's classy. There's no finesse like Virgo finesse, because you won't find any cracks. Everything will be on point. Libra risings, they are flirty fairies. They're flirty and they don't even mean to be. Other people will probably think that a Libra rising fancies them, but they're a Libra rising, meaning they are literally doing that to anyone. They are talking and moving like that to anyone because they want to keep the peace. They want you to like them. And they're just very like, oh, you know, I just want to, you know, I just want you to like me and I don't want to cause any issues. It's kind of like a Leo, like it wants to be admired, but not in like a, oh my God, everything you do is incredible, you know, and Leo's just like, yeah. Libra is like, oh, can you just like think I'm pretty, or like you want me to hang out with you, or, you know, it's not like that like heavy as Leo, but it has that similar thing. Libra, I think, gets a lot of energy off of people liking them or wanting them or something like that. But yeah, so the Libra rising can really showcase that. I think a lot of people kind of see it as a bit fake if they're not compatible with it, but if they're compatible with it, it's like, you can't go wrong. Libra energy, you can't go too far wrong anyway. You know, every sign, like, people won't like a certain sign, but Libra, I'd imagine they're probably bottom of the list of not being liked. And if you don't like a Libra, I think it's because of you've experienced them quite a lot and you found them to maybe be a bit fake or sitting on the fence or something like that. First one that's come to my head is Jennifer Aniston. I don't know what Jennifer Aniston is like that much, but whenever I've seen an interview of her, she's a Libra rising and she comes off very likable. I think a lot of people really like Jennifer Aniston. However, she an Aquarius with a Sagittarius moon. And I have seen other like candid clips of her where she's a little bit more like boisterous than what she actually comes across as. I don't really know her chart that well. So, but she kind of comes across as like, oh, very lovely, very caring, like, oh, wouldn't hurt a fly. But in actual fact, an Aquarius with a Sag moon, they will definitely hurt a fly. Just not intentional, but just like, they don't really care. So that's not really her vibe, but yet she really comes across like that. And don't get me wrong, that's in her. My camera keeps dying. Scorpio rising is giving Snape. First thing that I would think of is giving Snape. That being said, I feel like Snape would be probably a Scorpio sun as well, and probably like a Sag moon or something. He seems a little bit like he's got a little bit of banter there, so ignore that part. But that kind of vibe, like intimidating, quite intense, serious, mystical, just that kind of like penetrating energy. You know, I can read you, you can't read me. You will not be able to know anything about me, and I will know everything about you. And so it's very like deep, dark, psychological. I find a lot of Scorpio risings love to wear like sunglasses or something to kind of hide themselves a little bit. and they don't like to expose themselves. You know, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I can imagine they're seeing it as the world is full of people that have ill intentions. Why would you expose yourself? Why would you just put yourself out there like that? Um, I don't like the feeling. Like, I'm imagining I'm a Scorpio rising here. I wouldn't like the feeling of feeling exposed. So I like to hide myself and I like to read you. If you're compatible with the Scorpio, I think you probably see it as quite mystical, quite deep, quite intriguing. If you're incompatible with the Scorpio rising, you're going to see it as standoffish. Interestingly, because they're putting out that energy, they're then going to receive that energy, which is people aren't going to really trust them too much because you're not allowing me to read you, you know? So I do know a lot of Scorpio risings, and a lot of people do say they don't really know whether they like them or not. But a Scorpio rising would probably like that in a way. It kind of gives them power a little bit. So it's like what you're putting out is what you're going to receive as well. The Sagittarius risings are very clumsy. I'm thinking of Mr. Men with the long limbs. Um, just very like, hey, welcome. And then they like knocked over a glass or something, you know. If you're compatible with it, it's very warm and welcoming and very exciting and fun. If you're incompatible with it, it's probably a bit much, probably a bit too in your face, a bit clumsy, a bit like, bloody hell. You know, I'm almost picturing like someone like juggling knives and people are like, oh, but if you're like compatible with it, you're seeing it as like, oh, this is a good time, you know. So it just depends how you look at it. But what I noticed with Sag is branding is big, like sporty vibes. So I find the Sag risings tend to quite like the big brands, but obviously there's other things involved. I do find the Sag risings quite like the matchy thing, you know, like the matching hat with the matching belt with the matching shoes. I do find Sag energy quite likes that. But yeah, I think Sag risings just come off as fun, and if you're compatible with it, fun, direct, here for a good time. Not as intimidating as like an Aries rising. I wouldn't even call Sag uh, intimidating as in the Sag rising. Um, but would definitely be a bit too much for those feminine risings. Definitely way too direct, way too in your face, way too much. Cap rising. So Capricorn is an earth sign. It's giving tradition. It's giving fatherly provider. You know, it's serious. All earth risings come off serious. The Capricorn one is more traditional. It's more like a classic thing. It likes finesse, class. Like Virgo is about quality. I would say Capricorn is about tried and true. So yeah, a type of quality, because old things tend to be more reliable and a higher quality. They prefer things that are more wise, that are more old school. And so that can really come across when you meet them. If you're incompatible with them, you probably see them as quite serious, a little bit like too serious, maybe standoffish. If you're compatible with them, it's probably like a classic vibe, you know, like a grounded. It's similar to the Taurus rising, but I would say with a little bit more ego, and not necessarily in a bad way. Just kind of got a little bit more status about it. Um, and I mean, if we're talking low frequency Capricorn, a little bit on the flashy side, but in a very subtle way. Um, so it's giving Rolls Royce, if that's the right car I'm thinking of, like a big boxy, classic, old school car. You know, slow driving in, you know, some sort of hat situation. High frequency Cap, I think, is just giving like provider, daddy energy, grounded, and um, compatible risings would probably see it as quite warm, like reliable. Incompatible would definitely probably see boring and probably see, mate, let's have a good time. Like, why are you taking it too seriously? Type of thing. Aquarius risings are the oddballs. Oh, he's giving Rick and Morty. Rick. It's giving Rick. Rick gives me Aquarius and Sag. Maybe like a Sag sun or an Aquarius moon, something like that. But just odd, inventive, futuristic, and they don't really care to try and make people understand them. It's like they don't want to be understood, but not in a Scorpio way. Just kind of like a, yeah, keep up, chaps. You'll be with me in 10 years type thing. Um, and just interested in the different types of things. This time period we're in right now, Age of Aquarius, is very Aquariusy. Social media, we're knowing things from different cultures around the world. You know, a random crackhead could become famous. That is giving Aquarius something that you wouldn't predict, or it wasn't possible before. Aquarius doesn't like boxes. It doesn't like predictable. So it likes spontaneous. It likes something that isn't predictable. Um, something out there. It's giving electric. You know, just something odd, and that's how you're coming across. So you might be someone that people can't quite put their finger on, not in like a Gemini way, but in like what your next move is. You might come from a family of butchers and you want to be a vegan, something like that, thrown in an Uno reverse type situation. And if you're compatible with it, it's funny, it's quirky, it's different, it's cool. If you're incompatible with it, it's odd, it's weird, I don't really understand, that's the vibe. So in terms of how they look, they tend to do, I find air signs are quite big with the colours. Um, and they're like kind of just something quirky. Aquarius in particular tends to go a little bit more striking with it, like maybe like, oh, those like jellyfish hair trims. It's giving Aquarius, or just like the random like odd streak of hair color that actually went wrong, but we're just working with it, and now it's kind of cool. But obviously, it depends on so much more. It depends on your Venus, your Sun, like in terms of the aesthetic. But that is the vibe of Aquarius rising. So the oddballs. Last but never ever the least. Okay, the confusing one, the very confusing one. So Pisces in its energy in itself is a water, so it's coming from feeling, it's emotional. So like the Cancer risings, looking very vulnerable, looking very sensitive, but very sweet. Maybe a bit shy vibes, shy girl vibes. Um, Different to the Cancer will erupt. Pisces won't erupt. They'll probably burst out crying and go and sit in a room and listen to some music, or they'll be floating in the water in the swimming pool or the ocean. It's very, because it's mutable water. It's very adaptable, very flexible. It's just like, it's hard to pinpoint. It's hard to grab onto. So other signs that you've got in your chart will probably dominate any place that you have Pisces, including the Pisces rising. But what I noticed with Pisces rising is you can't put your finger on them. You don't really, honestly, one minute I could see someone, and that same person I'll see next week, they look completely different. You don't really know what they look like. Oh, great example, Kourtney Kardashian. Hers is actually pretty strong and obvious, to be fair, because she's an Aries with a cat moon, which are very, very, very dominant signs. She's all about the fairy tales. She loves it. She loves the fairy tales, the Disney, all of that. Like anything that's like feeling based, like what's his name? Like playing Sinatra, just the kind of like, I feel like that's a bit of a Capricorn coming in there because the old school thing, but just the feels. It's all about the feels and like, oh, this like Disneyland and like all the feels. But in a very like fairy tale nice way, like keeping the vibes nice. I feel like Pisces energy is the true good vibes only, and not in the like the cheesy way of like, yeah, I'm really struggling, but let's like just keep it good vibes, yeah. It's like, no, it's like actually fantasy, taking a pill, and now we're in a fantasy land, and that's where they love to live. Like genuine good vibes only. So if you've got that in the rising, then that might be a bit of your vibe. I mean, Pisces can also go the other end. It can be quite depressing if it's in a bad place. But it's just all the feels. But let me know your sign, because I actually want to know, and I want to know how people kind of take you. Like, what do people say that don't really know you too well? Anyway, that's my 2 cents. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, maybe comment, and I'll see you soon.